Thank you so much for staying on. It's still Captain Primetime News, and we want to look at rape and, of course, some of the things that brings about this very ugly act continuously, especially in our climate. I'm being joined by a veteran broadcaster and also a woman activist who also puts her finger on this very dastardly act. Ify Onyegbule joins me here on Captain News to look at the issue of rape. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me, Manuel.
Interestingly, I mean, you have been around broadcast for over 2 decades, and I cannot imagine.
You make me feel so old.
No, absolutely, no. She's very young. And again, looking at the issue of rape, you must have come across stories and even covered some things that have to do with rape. First of all, it's there. It continues. What do you make of our individual reaction, the societal reaction to issues of rape in Nigeria?
When you talk about reaction, societal reaction, you can put it, it's neither here nor there. When you find that some people are outrightly saying, look, if someone is found guilty of committing the crime, let the person pay the price. But some will say, look, some people are coming out and they're telling lies. Yes, I agree. Some women may come out to tell a lie that someone abused them. But then you need to understand that for anyone to come out to say something happened, there must have been something that happened at some point. But the idea is for people to investigate. Let me share with you, just a while ago, maybe an hour ago, I put up a post where a particular publication used a picture of, I think, the Banj and the young lady who's accusing him. And, you know, they used a picture of the girl, not properly dressed, I'll tell you, because her bosom was actually out there. But you used a nice picture, like you're nicely dressed, of the Banj. Now, what are you trying to say? For me, I saw that picture and what I read from that picture was, look, this is the way she is. Why would you not think that people will come at her with the way that she's dressed? So the society needs to understand that you have to stop stigmatizing people who come out to talk about rape, or survivors who come out to talk about the act and how, you know, they were molested and all of that. We need to find a way to balance whatever it is that we're doing. And as I said, it's about investigation. If they're able to investigate, I think the culprits should be brought to book.
Okay, talking about investigation is very deep. Time will not permit us to go through. But again, it's become like a norm where if it doesn't happen and doesn't come to the surface, somebody does not shout. It's not extreme, like the young lady killed in Edo State.
Yes.
It's as if everybody goes to sleep.
Yeah, while Omozuwa's issue is one that actually brought a lot of things to the fore. After that, we had another young lady who was covered. She had a hijab on, you know, and she was killed right in her father's house. Another one, a student also in Ibadan, it happened. So I think this has triggered a lot of these things happening. But as you said, in this part of our world, in this our climate, when something happens, we talk about it maybe for a week or two. We move on to something else. We do not understand what it means to stay on a story. Look at what is happening in the United States of America. The death of one man has sparked a lot of things, and people are going back to what happened in the 20s.
Exactly.
Digging it up, bringing it out, talking, and it's about history.
Okay.
Do we have the history? Do we have records? Do we have data? When it's done, Omozuwa is buried and the other ones, we go to sleep.
Okay, now
something else happens.
Right now, it's more like in the air.
Yes.
Everybody's like
talking about
it and sneezing as a result of it. But how can we sustain this tempo? It's about always talking about it, like you're doing, because I understand that Kaftan TV has been doing so much about it. You're staying on the story, and that's kudos to you guys here. We must continue to talk about it. We don't have to always look at those issues that will bring us money as a station or as a publication. There's something called the corporate social responsibility. It's your responsibility to talk about it. On social media, everyone's talking about it. And for me, I'll always say that it's about staying on the issue. Staying on the issue. Yes. What about penalty? Of course, the law is there, but looking at the penal code for rape, do you think there should be some sort of addition or subtraction as they are?
Let's deal with what it is that we have first as it is. I know there are laws. Let us follow through, dotting all I's and crossing all T's as it is before we begin to ask for addition. Have we utilized what it is that we have? I would say no. And it's because you find that quote and unquote, you know, it's an unwritten code. When you look at it, people who are privileged, very privileged people in the society, it's like they have a different set of laws. But you find that if a poor person does something wrong, the hammer comes so hard on you. So we need to understand that nobody should be above the law. Let's deal with what we have, use what we have to at least get what we need.
Okay, finally, as a woman, what advice do you have for women who have girls coming up and some of the things they need to look out for? I mean, there are traditional, I would say traditional, if a man touches you, you're pregnant, kind of old assertions.
School,
yes.
Old school.
But going forward now, what are those one or two things that women should actually do?
As a woman, you have a daughter, it's pertinent for you to enlighten your child from the age of 5. Begin to talk to her about her bodies. These days, young people, little girls now get to see their periods from age 9, 10, and all of that. So you need to begin to talk to your girl child so she understands that her life is quite delicate as it is. It's nature. Nature has made it that way. You also talk to your boy children. Let them also understand that, look, as a girl, in fact, your job is to actually protect your sister. And your sister is not just that one that's born by your mother also. It is the girl, other girl out there. We need to look out for ourselves. We need to understand that what happens to someone's child today, you never know who it's going to be tomorrow. Okay. So we need to go back to those days when neighbors brought up everybody.
A community.
Yes, a community brings up
the child.
Yeah, brought up the child. So you wouldn't look at a child that because that child is not yours, something is going wrong, you don't talk about it. Talk about it. Some of them might, you know, rebuff you and say, look, you're not my mother, or you're not my father. But it's your responsibility as an adult to see that everyone is safe in the society.
Okay, finally, is Nigeria, as it were, our society, would you say the society has failed the women folk in terms of, or is trying, and what could be done further?
If I say that the society has failed, it means that I'm not being fair to Nigeria as it is. Nigeria is trying, the country is trying, government is trying, but you will understand that we have our own peculiar nature in Nigeria. And as I've always said, wherever it is that I talk about the issue of rape, I will say that the enablers are let loose because of the culture, tradition, and of course religion. Those 3 things are the things that we truly need to look out for. Okay. We need to find a way to, you know, tweak it. If we're going to tweak, if we're going to water it down, let's know exactly what we're doing, because things are changing and we must move away. We must depart from what it is.
Exactly, move with the times.
Yeah, move with the times as it is.
Thank you so much for coming. We can go on and on, but of course, time allotted to us has expired. We appreciate you coming, Ify Onyegbule.
Thank you for having me.
And that's Ify Onyegbule, a veteran broadcaster, and of course, a women advocate on various fronts, including the fight against rape. Don't go away. It's still Captain Primetime News. We're coming back to bring you the rest of what we have for you here in this bulletin. Please stay with us.